So just a couple things, injury notes from practice today. Brian Breezy left practice he got poked in the eye. We'll get him evaluated. A.T. Perry missed practice with an illness. And Calvin Throckmorton and Marshawn Lattimore both came out here, got through individual, and then we pulled them out. So again, I don't think either one of those I don't think any of that's real significant, but that's where we're at.
Dennis, how positive was, you told us yesterday to be back. He looked really strong out there also today, number 80.
Yeah, he had a good day today. So it was good to see. So yeah, it was a good day for Jimmy.
Dennis, when you were dealing with the crowd noise, was that to help the defense with communication?
It's a little bit of both, right? I mean, we had to go on silent count offensively, which we have to be better at. And then also, defensively, you're going to have to communicate in the crowd noise. And look, the biggest thing is we got to be able to operate those situations and not beat ourselves. So there's some things that obviously we got to get cleaned up, but we'll continue to work some of that.
And dealing with that crowd noise, could that be also that you would start the music sooner when the offense is in the huddle trying to call a play?
Yeah, Bobby, we could potentially do that. Obviously, yeah.
The communication.
Yeah, the whole deal. Yeah, the whole deal.
What kind of camp has Malcolm Roach had? I mean, we've heard his teammates say time and again how valuable and how versatile he is.
Yeah, look, I think he's had a good camp. I think he's a lot more sudden and explosive than maybe where he's been at in years past. So that's been good to see. I think that's a player that's gotten better throughout this camp.
Dennis, we saw Shaq had that really good game in the preseason game. What have you liked about how he's building on that?
I think he's just progressing. He's a guy that small school guy that came in here. I don't know if he knew whether the ball was pumped or stuffed when we first started out, but he's worked extremely hard. He's gotten in the playbook. He understands what he's supposed to do, and he's made some plays down the field. So that's been good to see.
It's kind of beneficial too. Like, he's a big guy. You want to see guys utilize what they've got.
Yeah, and so he's made some plays in a contested environment, and that's I think that's big for for the bigger players, the bigger receivers. He's going to be a guy that's going to have to win some contested catches, and he's done a good job of that. I think a little bit of all of it. I think he's gotten a lot better. I think he's improving. He's not the finished product yet, but yeah, I think I've seen some significant strides in the last, call it 10 days to 2 weeks.
Coach, how are you dealing with all those penalties? 14 on Sunday, 8 the previous week?
Yeah, I think I addressed that yesterday. We watched every single one of them, talked about what we could do better. Talked about the pre-snap penalties being something that we totally control, so we'll continue to work on that.
Dennis, follow up on Boston. I know he's still incredibly young, work in progress, but what are the next steps you're kind of talking through, or what you want to see from him?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
I know Boston's super young, but what are the next steps you want to see in camp?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing when you look at the last game, I think it's the finish. I think there was a lot of good things that I saw. On the initial part of the play, there's a few plays that I'd like to see him be able to finish better. So I think that's probably the next step for him.
Confident Jimmy's medical situation is clear now, and he's how he's doing.
Yeah.
Dennis, now putting the medical situation aside, are you impressed at how fast Jimmy's gotten back into football shape? And I mean, is he back to kind of ramp him up? Do you feel like he's back to where he needs to be?
Yeah, look, I thought he looked good today. I think, we're going to keep evaluating that, but, certainly that was good to see the type of day he had today. He's a big target, and, made some plays in a contested environment, a couple of plays across the middle, a couple of red zone plays. So things that I've seen him do in the past, I saw him doing today, and that's a good sign.
Dennis, you have addressed, I think, this earlier, but it seems like and he's progressed like Carl Grandis and Daniel Pasio. like he seemed like he's always being disruptive?
Yeah, look, he's done a good job for us. He, along with a lot of the other guys, on the defensive line, we've had a lot of batted balls, and whether it be in practice or game situations, it's something we hadn't had a lot of in the last few years. So that's been good to see. I think he gives us some versatility in terms of being able to play on the edge, also play some inside. So I think he's a valuable piece to what we're doing defensively.
Again, it's just a logistical thing. Will Alvin go on the suspended list at the same time you cut down?
I think that's my understanding as we sit here right now. Hadn't been something that we talked a ton about, but we still got a few days before we get down to cut downs.
With the joint practices not happening, does that affect the plans in terms of maybe snaps for starters?
No, look, again, I kind of addressed that yesterday too. So, no, I don't think that has any effect on what we do in the game.
With that 53-man roster cut down looming, what's the big thing you're looking for some of the guys that are fighting for spots? Is it more about special teams, or are there other ways that guys
I think it's a combination of things. We take all those things into account, and if a guy's not getting significant snaps on offense or defense, he's got to add value on game day. Well, how do you add value on game day? You have to add value through special teams. So I think all those things are taken into account.
When you're building that, are you building the roster out looking at starters depth and then kind of filling out the rest, or is it kind of a position by position look? How does that actually get looked at from a coaching perspective?
Well, I think you're looking at the total picture in terms of the football team, the individual position coaches typically are kind of looking at their position and what fits for their position and the roles within that particular group. Coordinators are looking at their side of the ball and how does it affect their side of the ball. Obviously, Riz is looking at special teams, and myself, Mickey, Michael, Kai, Jeff, we're all kind of looking at the whole totality of the team and how everything fits. No, I mean, he's going through the rehab process, so that's all I got.
We saw light days for Cam and Ramchick. Were those just vet rests?
Yeah, vet rest days.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks.
Thanks, Steve.